Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, and welcome to today's video discussing the best champions to take up to rank 5 in Marvel Contest of Champions. Alternately, you know, as a 5-star, rank 3, kind of the same principles for a lot of that still do apply. The kind of difference between like a rank 550 4-star and a rank 3 5-star champion is very, very minimal. Like the advantage, obviously, of having a 5-star champion in rank 3 is you've got slightly higher stats, and usually like there's something in the abilities that's maybe like a second longer or hits like a little bit harder. So those champions are always like a little bit better for that. But obviously the disadvantage is when it comes to 5-star champions, it's very hard to get like high dupe levels on those characters. So a lot of what we're going to be discussing today, you kind of need to take into account your personal roster needs. Like, do you need utility? Do you need certain champions for prestige to advance into a bigger and better alliance so you can farm kind of more rewards in Alliance Quest? Like, none of the advice is kind of like a generic template for everyone. I just hope in this video to explain, you know, the various options available and kind of what I suggest as some of the best characters to take up that I feel like are going to do the most for your roster, and also your ability to kind of progress in Marvel Contest of Champions. So yeah, with that disclaimer aside, we're going to jump into the Science class first, which the Science class I think is a good mixture of kind of like attackers and defenders. So kind of the top 3 options in this class are Captain America World War II, amazing block. Alternately, you know, if you do have the classic version of Captain America and he's awakened, he might potentially be an option for one of your first rank 3 5-star characters. Then you also have Hulk, an amazing character for Alliance Quest, has a really good stun and is poison immune. And then Quake as well, very unique character in terms of how she's played, very good for Alliance War, a lot of people like her for that. Also, she's not very bad at all for a lot of boss killing in the current season of Alliance Quest, and also out of the Science champions at the moment, Quake has the highest prestige, so she's a very sought after option for a lot of people looking to make kind of that big prestige grab. And then we have some other champions, mainly defenders going down this list. We have Spider-Man, great defender when he's awakened, as a 4 or 5-star works perfectly. Yellow Jacket, I probably wouldn't take this dude up as a 4-star unless I had just like an excess of resources. I might do one day, but ideally, you know, if you're ranking up Yellow Jacket, ideally it's a 5-star version. And then you have Miles Morales, Electro, and Abomination, who are all kind of present like different problems in their own ways in terms of Alliance War defense. And yeah, I do have Abomination on that list. I think Abomination, he's one of those defenders, if you can get him on the right node and he takes somebody like a Dr. Voodoo, an Archangel, a Star-Lord by surprise, or Captain America, can deal a lot of poison damage. So yeah, on the surprise node, very good champion, but alternately it's always a bit of a gamble, because if somebody runs up to that node kind of playing like an Iceman, for example, or Vision, then they're probably going to have a very easy kill. So he's very down the list as well. I guess also maybe one champion that I'm thinking about like just chucking on here like as well, maybe Rhino for defense. But as somebody that has a 5-star Rhino, like, I'd say he's very down this, because a lot of people, especially in tier 1, have just like nailed how to fight a Rhino now. So yeah, he's just not really like ever getting me kills anymore, but occasionally he'll get 1 or 2. But yeah, not really like he used to, kind of when they made the change to him last summer. But he's okay. Then in terms of the Mystic class, kind of, I believe the top 3 at the moment in terms of kind of reliability and usefulness is you have Dr. Voodoo, obviously an insane champion with regeneration, power control mechanics, lots of damage with his poison, and just the ability to control pretty much any matchup. Then you have Ghost Rider. I really like Ghost Rider for all his utility, and his regeneration is insane. I feel like he's one of my favorite Alliance Quest champions for sustainability and just going on and on. Then you have Magic, amazing power control, Limbo is very useful, also makes for an excellent defender. So, you know, maybe if you have a 5-star Magic awakened and your desire is to take her up to rank 4 as a 5-star champion, she might be slightly above the list. But yeah, I'd probably say like a 4-star Dr. Voodoo for most people is probably kind of the go-to option. I think like Scarlet Witch potentially, you know, if you have a need for Scarlet Witch in your roster, she's still a very good champion, she still hits very hard, Health, has that continued nullify. But you know, I personally prefer playing a lot of the characters like Voodoo, Ghost Rider, and Magic, because all of those characters, while they do have a little bit of RNG, they're all quite reliable at getting certain jobs done, whereas Scarlet Witch is very random. You know, you can have a couple of fights where you won't heal at all, and then you can have fights where you have like 5 procs of healing during the encounter. So while Scarlet Witch is still very, very good, she's just a little bit unreliable for focusing on kind of any one task at hand. But yeah, she ain't too bad, but she's not what she used to be for the most part. And then, aside from that, we have a few defenders. I think Dormammu is an exceptional defender. Maybe if you have Dormammu Awakened as a 5-star, again, he might be up this list a little bit. Also, the same with kind of Mordo and Juggernaut. But if we're strictly looking at 4 stars here, then I'd say, you know, my philosophy is always build a good offense so you can clear the content, clear the challenges, and then once you've got that unlocked, then working on kind of building a solid defense there. And then finally, you know, once you got all those champions maxed out, which is quite a few of them, to be honest, then it's champions like Hood and Guillotine, which are still really, really good characters, but you know, they just get outshined by like some of the god tier stuff on the Mystic Spectrum. But again, if you're not too worried about your Alliance War defense, you could potentially kind of bump Hood up there and maybe use him. I know some people use Hood for Alliance War defense on some of these SP2 nodes, but to be honest, I don't really rate Hood as a defender. Every time I fought one, I've just rinsed him so easy. Like, he don't really have much going on when you know how to fight him and deal with him. So yeah, don't really rate him too much. And then we have the Tech class, which at the moment, in terms of champions you actually want to rank up, is a little bit lackluster. There aren't many super great characters there. So you got Star-Lord. You have some crazy champions, like you got Star-Lord, amazing. Probably ideally one of your first like rank 5 champions, or as a 5-star, one of your first rank 3 if you have him awakened, because even as a 554-star, that is your ticket to the Labyrinth of Legends and a lot of endgame content there. And you have Ultron, a great champion for Alliance Quest, and whenever you need somebody with a bit of regeneration that can deal with immunity lanes as well. Then you have OG Vision, who is slightly better than Vision. Like, there's not really too much in it, but OG Vision is the preference of a lot of people, just because you can, like, have that power control, like, right at the start of the fight, and I can definitely see the advantage in that against, like, the Magic and Juggernaut matchups, especially when it comes to Alliance War. So yeah, there's some useful stuff there. Then the classic Vision, of course, a little bit lower. And then Rocket Raccoon, ideally if you have him as a 5-star, that would be, that's the one you kind of want to rank up, but maybe like the 4-star as well. Like, he's a pretty fun glass cannon champion, but doesn't really have like a super solid use. So aside from that, I think one of the things to kind of keep in mind is next month we have, I believe, 2 tech champions coming. We have Spider-Man Homecoming, who from some of the leaked images is going to be a tech character, and also Vulture. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping they're pretty good. And then after that, I believe we're going to have Doc Ock and Green Goblin. And yeah, don't know if they're going to be tech as well. So maybe some more tech champions coming in. But there's been a lot of like fairly like mediocre champions like Punisher 2099, Yondu Nebula. They're all like pretty cool, quirky champions, but none of them like, you know, you need to have up or going to do like an absurd amount for you. But maybe if there was one more character I'd add to this list, maybe Yondu, like out of those 3. But yeah, I'm hoping that Spider-Man Homecoming and what is it, Vulture are pretty good. And then in Cosmic, so Cosmic is the least desired class to pull a T4CC from, just because like the only super good champion is, in my opinion, Hyperion, and he's just like vastly outpowers all of the other Cosmic champions, has that poison immunity, stun, incinerate, tons of utility, like such a great character. Then second up, you kind of like, aside from that, you really have like a few kind of like decently hard-hitting champions like Angela, Drax 4, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. They all deal like fairly decent damage, but I put like Miss Marvel down on that list because, you know, as a 4-star, she's the only one you want to take up. But if you have a 5-star Captain Marvel, you got her awakened, you might want to take her up instead of Miss Marvel. But again, she's quite down, low down the list. So yeah, none of those characters really do a huge amount, to be honest, in the spectrum of the current game. And then finally you have King Groot, and King Groot, he hits like a wet noodle. His damage absolutely sucks, but he does have sustainable regeneration and bleed immunity, so there are reasons why you want to take a King Groot up to 550 if you're doing like Alliance Quest Map 6 and you've been tasked with a bleed lane, and maybe you don't have a Ghost Rider or an Ultron, or maybe, you know, you just don't enjoy playing those characters. Maybe you love playing King Groot. Maybe that's what it's all about. Like, he's not a bad option. He's just a much slower option for the most part. And then we come to the mutant class, which has some insane characters. And this is something I've been debating for a while, like, which ideally is the first, like, mutant to take up to rank 5? And it's a bit of a difficult one because they all bring like so much different stuff to the table depending on what you need. So if you need a character with like a lot of regeneration, Wolverine is your go-to option. Great character for that. Archangel, we're seeing he's one of the best characters for dealing with magic and really annoying. It's mainly magic, but any scenario where you need offensive defensive ability accuracy reduced, like 3 stacks of neurotoxin does that, and also he's stunning bosses in Alliance War, so he's turning out to be one of the most favored boss killers at the moment, and his damage is absolutely insane, so very fun character to play. And then you also have characters like Iceman, who's a double immunity character, can counter evade, has that damage cap with his ice armor, and then you have the option of Rogue as well if you're looking to increase your prestige. She's by far still the best mutant character for that. So yeah, I'd say it's really between kind of the top 4 when you're looking at which one should I do first, but I don't think there's like any right or wrong answer. It kind of depends, you know, exactly where your roster's at and what you need from your next kind of rank 5 character. And then you also have like some fairly like decent and interesting champions like Psylocke. She's really fun for the power control. Nightcrawler, really good defender. X-23, just a crazy fun character to play. She's like Wolverine, but with less regeneration and more damage. And then you have Storm, you know, if you got 5-star Storm, very hard-hitting character. Maybe, you know, if you have the resources to take her up, if she's awakened and you got the resources to take her up to rank 4, maybe you want to take her up first. But I think one of the things to also think about, and I'm trying to communicate with this list as well, is that the more exciting 5 stars, like by the end of this year, they're going to become a little bit more common because you no longer have to do this featured gamble to get like an insane champion. Because I know like previously in the past year and a bit, a lot of people have taken characters that are very kind of like mediocre and not really like exceptional characters in any form, like for example like Cyclops and Iron Fist up to rank 4 because they didn't predict that the pool would expand as fast as it did, and a lot of people got very lucky because they could take down those characters from rank 4 to rank 3 or just all the way down to like rank 2 or 1 with the 12.0 update rank down tickets. But yeah, I think that's something to kind of bear in mind moving forward, is that with your resources and stuff, you only got like a finite amount of champions that you can bring up to rank 4, so ideally you want to bring like a really crazy champion up to rank 4 as a 5-star. You know, if you're thinking about that. And then finally we have the skill class. So I think for most people, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between the top 3 depending on what you need. Like Gwenpool, crazy fun champion to play, so much damage, defensive ability accuracy reduction when she's awakened, she can tank special attacks, has the power lock, just a lot of very interesting utility there with Gwenpool, which I'm not really too sure where Gwenpool shines. Like a lot of people have been using her for Alliance War, but she's a very like hit and miss champion. Like you can have some matchups that are really great, and then ones like Mortar and Black Panther Civil War where you'll just get absolutely wrecked. So yeah, a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of a risk sometimes with Gwenpool there. Then you also have Elektra, very good character for reducing defensive ability accuracy. If you got her as a 5-star, like you're pretty golden there. Very fun character to play as well. Also hits insanely hard if you have the Assassin's Mastery combined with her kind of, well, it's a passive ability that gets upgraded when she's awakened, which allows like any of her hits under 25% to crit. So when you know, have the huge attack boost from Assassins, that's crazy damage in that scenario. So very fun. Then you have Daredevil Classic. pick, who, if you have him at dupe level 99, very, very fun character to play. I don't think he's really used too much in Alliance War at the moment, because he's not really needed for that. But Alliance Quest, map 6, there are certain nodes that are unblockable, that are very annoying to deal with if you don't have a Daredevil Classic. So he certainly comes in handy there, I would say. Then you also have potential options like Black Panther Civil War for Alliance War Defense. You have Crossbones. I think actually one champion I want to write down as well as Agent Venom. Like, Agent Venom is a fairly decent defender. Like, he's a bit, like, hit and miss sometimes, because sometimes, you know, I always like to play very greedy when I'm fighting Agent Venom. I'll parry and try to get the attack in, but sometimes that can backfire on me, and I can get, like, wrecked by a full hit combo. So yeah, he's maybe not a bad option, like, one worth noting down. But also, like, I think if you have, like, maybe a 5-star Hawkeye and you've got him awakened, he's maybe a pretty good option to get up, as well as maybe a 5-star Black Panther if you've spare resources. But I think, like, One-Pawn Elektra bring a little bit more to the table in terms of utility and what they can offer than a Black Panther does. But yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for some of my advice on the best characters to use your tier 4 class Catalyst on and take up to either rank 5 as a 4-star or rank 3 as a 5-star. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.